Welcome everybody. Welcome to this K2 compliance conversation, and I'm delighted to say I'm here in sunny Chiswick with Alex Neale from SilverDoor. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you very much, Gavin.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your job role and a little bit about SilverDoor, please?
Yes, so I'm the Senior Vice President of Partner Relationships here at SilverDoor, and by that we mean I'm globally responsible for our supply chain network. My team here is 20 strong, and they have different areas of focus such as acquisitions, partner account management, compliance and accreditation, and content as well. So that's the profile, our property profiles on our system. SilverDoor are a wholly independent service department agency, and by independent we mean we don't own or manage any service departments, so we provide a completely unbiased stance on offering service departments to clients like K2, as well as travel management companies and direct corporates as well.
So I'd like to get straight into the first question here, which is why did SilverDoor choose to sign up to EcoVadis?
Well, whilst there's a number of different accreditations out there, we could have signed up to a multitude. We were cautious that we dedicate our resources to the ones that were most significant in their impact to our client base, but also gave us the most in terms of information and learning that allows us to improve our own sustainability journey. EcoVadis was certainly one amongst perhaps other significant accreditations like the ISO 14001 and the CDP assessment that we felt was of huge value to our clients and hugely helpful for our organisation in terms of developing our own programme.
And so from your perspective, what are the benefits from signing up to EcoVadis, and what stage are you currently at?
We're right at the we're not right at the beginning. We have submitted one EcoVadis submission already. That was back at the end of last year. We're aiming to submit our second in late autumn this year. Now, in terms of benefits, it's been an undertaking. It's been a challenge, but it's been a worthwhile investment in terms of understanding where our policies and processes sit, what is important to clients today, what we need to improve, do a gap analysis of our current processes, and so it's allowed us to really lay out a plan. Perhaps we haven't been able to deliver all of that for the first submission, but it allows us to lay out a plan so that we hope that our second submission will be yet more comprehensive.
Brilliant. How are you finding that process of being rated, and what is involved in the actual the whole process itself?
So when you sign up to EcoVadis, you get a login and you can see all the questions and the number of documents that you can load onto the platform. They also provide you with a point of contact which will help you along your way of providing your assessment. We found it hugely beneficial that clients like K2 were very generous in their support of our submission and helped us in improving documents where we wanted to have a more comprehensive answer, and where we felt like there was perhaps an area missing for SilverDoor. So yeah, it was a journey that was important that our whole team took part in. So from our senior management downwards, and every department had a contribution to making sure that we delivered the best result we could. And yeah, it was all in all certainly worthwhile, but it's not without being aware that there is a reasonable time investment and a not insignificant cost as well.
Okay, well then to that point, what would you say to companies who are thinking about investing in EcoVadis but they're worried about the cost involved?
Well, I think that we have to be realistic about where we are in the world, and the fact of the matter is that there are key issues that have come to the fore that the public are concerned about, business should be concerned about, and we should be concerned about too. And I think that when it comes to investing in sustainability credentials. I think you do have to pick and choose to make sure you target your investments to get the maximum out of it. EcoVadis was certainly one that was recognised strongly by a number of our client base, including K2, and it was also one of the most comprehensive in terms of the demands on answering. So I think that whilst there was a cost attributed, I think it was worthwhile for our own learning curve and to help us progress our own internal policies and to help us, do our bit, if you like, in terms of delivering what we all need to do in this area, which is change.
And similarly, what would you say to those companies that thinking about investing, but they're worried about the actual time involved completing the assessments?
Well, I would say that the time investment was more significant than the cost investment, and I would say that you do need to create a plan to make sure that you're constructing a period of time where you can all dedicate your resources to delivering this. You do want to, if you want to get the most out of it, it all comes down to putting the most in. I think that the first year was probably more costly in that respect than others. I'd like to think that, well, I'm very confident that next year's submission will be much less complicated because of the process we've already been through. I'd also say that any other things that you do in this area help complement your answer. And some of it's quite simple HR policy that you've probably got in place already.
And what about companies that are already investing in sustainability, but just in other areas? Has SilverDoor done anything in that space?
Yeah, so, like K2 are looking at their supply chain, we've been looking at ours, and we developed what we call the carbon calculator, which was a tool that allows our providers to estimate the CO2e of stay in one of their apartments using a few key metrics such as the amount of energy they use, their average occupancy, and the size of their buildings and their units. And using those three key areas, they come up with a result. We felt that allowed our clients to make sustainable choices in the same way they do for price or destination or quality of apartment. So we undertook that, and that was not an insignificant investment as well, and we dedicate a lot of resource to making sure that goes well. We felt that the carbon calculator actually supported our EcoVadis submission. It gave us some tools and some information that we could submit as part of our demonstration of our commitment to certain areas of ESG. But I don't think that people should worry about where they don't have that. I think the most important thing is starting your journey, and EcoVadis gives you a number of areas to consider that will help you create policy that's going to align your company with the needs of clients like K2 and many other multinational corporates.
And then one final question on that subject is about companies that are worried that if they went through the process that they worried they might not actually achieve an EcoVadis medal.
I don't think at this point in time it's necessarily about the score you receive. I mean, the score you receive is all about benchmarking yourself for self-improvement, and even if you got awarded a medal in your first year of your EcoVadis submission, that's no guarantee that you're going to get awarded a medal in the second year. Every year they adjust they proportion their awarding schemes so that as the world improves, it gets harder and harder to achieve those high rewards. So look, I think you've got to be realistic with yourself and understand that certainly in the first submission is going to be a challenge to get gold or silver. I think it's probably unlikely to achieve it straight away. Those things come with time and investment in the program. But I think that most clients recognise that by starting your journey, you've taken the most important step. It's like a marathon runner training for a race. You've got to start with the shorter runs first, and you've got to accept the slower times first, but the more you put into it and the more you commit yourself to your goal, the better your results are going to be.
What a great analogy. Thanks, Alex, that's great. How do our clients benefit from more compliant and sustainably aware partners?
I think anyone that's taken themselves on this journey to some extent will know that Scope 1 and 2 are relatively small in comparison to Scope 3 emissions for most companies. So for our clients, they obviously want to look at that Scope 3 and any changes that they can make in their supply chain is going to have the maximum impact on the benefits that they're going to make to reducing their CO2e and improving their sustainability credentials and maintaining compliance. Compliance in-house is one thing, compliance amongst your supply chain is a much bigger thing. Doing the EcoVadis submission gives clients confidence that you are compliant because you've been through the scrutiny of the process. They can be confident that a third party has accredited you, and so that it's not just their eyes and their processes looking at your business, but a third party as well. A lot of these multinational corporates that we work with are under intense scrutiny, not only from the public, as sustainability is of huge interest to the public at the moment, and hopefully it will remain that way, but also it benefits them in terms of adhering to the legislation, but it also benefits them in terms of their own processes and ambitions. A lot of big clients have their own values and their own things that make them unique. In the same way, K2 are certainly driving the sustainability and compliance piece forward for the industry. We want to deliver to support you with your goals, and yeah, a lot of clients have big metrics in this department as well. EcoVadis allows us to demonstrate that we meet the needs of these clients, and therefore we are a good supplier for them to choose to use.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Alex. Thank you so much. Those are really great insights there, and hopefully those of our partners and our clients watching have really gained some additional knowledge there. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gavin.